Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us today. And for those who are joining us at home from live, I also want to say big thanks. So, the Entrepreneurship Society is very excited to announce its first webinar under our theme, Dare to Dream, where we bring small business owners who built their business to a major success to speak on, you know, their experience in the industry. So as our first guest speaker, we have the 2021 Slim Award winner for the Best New Entrant Brand and the Best SME Local Brand of the Year here to join us. So she's none other than Dr. Dilesha Perera, founder and director of the clothing brand La Vivente. Can I have a round of applause? So yeah, Dr. Dilesha, we're going to be asking you a few questions today. So what exactly inspired you to become an entrepreneur? Could you give us a small insight?
What inspired me was becoming my own boss, was the inspiration. Yeah. Am I audible? Yeah. So being my own boss was the inspiration behind me, because I knew as a woman, a lady, my 8 to 5 job will not fit into my schedule. So because as a lady, you have to wear many hats, like being a mother, being a wife, then providing for the family. All that comes to us. So that's where I got inspired. I want to becoming an entrepreneur was my childhood dream.
Thank you, Doctor, for that. Makele?
So can you tell us about yourself and also about the business as well?
So as you all know, I'm Dilesha Perera. I'm a product of Museus College. I'm the co-founder of La Vivente clothing brand. Before being an entrepreneur, I was a banker. I was working for HSBC and Standard Chartered Bank for 17 years. I was a senior manager when I was leaving the bank. Then my mother thought I'm insane to leave a stable job. I was a senior manager at that time, so my mother thought I'm insane to leave a stable job and to get into business. But in my opinion, when you become an employee, you're limited. Your scope is limited. So when you are an entrepreneur, you can do much more to the society. So that's the motivation that I had. And I started my business when I was a uni student. When I was like you, when I was at the age of 20. That was in year 2000. I was working in the bank. I was doing my studies and I started something on my own. It's the dedication that I had. About the business, La Vivente was launched in 2020. And we launched the brand during a very challenging time. In 2019, we had East attack. Then in 2020, COVID lockdowns, and 2021, 2020. Then 2022, we had economic downturn. So it's a challenging journey, but yet it's interesting. About my education background, my first degree is from University of Jawaharlal. I have a degree specialized in international trade. My MBA is from University of 𝐃𝐀𝐑𝐄, specialized in finance. I'm a member of Chartered Institute of Marketing UK, associate member of Bankers Institute, and I also have a doctorate from University of 𝐃𝐀𝐑𝐄. My research interests are SME, consumer behavior, and branding. So that's about the education background. I'm the only child in the family, and I have a daughter who's 8 years old. So that's about me. Actually, it was a coincidence. Uh, as a, I told you that I want to become an entrepreneur. That was my childhood dream. So I joined Standard Chartered as soon as I completed my A levels. That was in year 1998. I was only 18 years then, and so I was searching for opportunities to become an entrepreneur. I really didn't have a capital to start a business, but before I becoming an entrepreneur, I felt that I need to have solid background, like a finance background, to become a disciplined entrepreneur. So that's why I choose banking career. Then in year 2000, when I was looking for opportunities, a friend of mine told me that there is a stock lot. I'm sure you know what is stock lots. So those are garments excess stocks. So then he said that you can try it out. So I wanted to get the samples, and uh, I was able to. I was able to like there was about 2,000 pieces where I approached cotton collection and Odea, and I was able to sell the entire quantity to those two retail chains. So the profit that I made from that transaction became my capital to start my business. So that's how I started in year 2000 in a very humble way. La Vivente is an Italian name. So why we chose an Italian name? Because Italy is renowned for fashion, and the meaning of La Vivente is the living. So actually, we are a social entrepreneur. We contribute to the society. There's a social contribution that we do. So it's in line with the vision and that contribution, because we as a brand, we empower micro entrepreneurs, like skilled people, to become micro entrepreneurs, people who has a dire need for support. So what we do is we provide them with interest-free loans for them to develop, for them to buy their machinery or upskill their, enhance their factory premises. So likewise, we give them interest-free loans. We also support them in terms of technical know-how. We guaranteed them a market, even during adverse, like during economic downturn. We never, gave them the burden of, looking for orders from other people. So likewise, and we buddy them, we guide them to manage their business. So we do a lot of, we actually develop the micro entrepreneurs to, stand on their feet. So that's it's La Vivente is not only a fashion brand. So there is so much that we do behind the stage. So that's why the name La Vivente, the meaning of La Vivente. Well, we won 2 awards from Slim Brand Excellence last year. That was the first time that we applied for Slim. We were the best local SME brand, and the new entrant brand. So that was a huge achievement for us, and we are very proud and honored to be honored to have that recognition, and it's acknowledgement of the job well done and the contribution that we have made to the society. So I would like to dedicate that recognition to our loyal customers. As I mentioned earlier, La Vivente is not just a fashion brand. We are a social entrepreneur. So while we are doing business, um, uh, mm, we also contribute to the society by uplifting other people's life, like the lower level. So that's why we say La Vivente is different than other brands, because we always have another skilled person to come up in their life, have their own factory premises, and we are also now we have become a global brand. So our manufacturers, we call it strategic production unit. Those people, we have developed over 20 such micro entrepreneurs, and we've created over 250 employment through those strategic partnerships. So La Vivente is not just a fashion brand. We do a lot of other stuff as well, and also we provide uh, clothing, like our products are very affordable to customers. Yeah, in 20, La Vivente launched in 2020. But why we started La Vivente? Because in 2019 we had Easter attack, and then 2020 we had 2021 COVID lockdowns, and then compounded with economic downturn. So we, in 2019, until 2019, we were a wholesaler. We were working with Odell Cotton Collection, like top retail chains, we were supplying to them. So in 2019, when there was when during the Easter attack, it was very challenging for us to collect our payments. It was very challenging because they were dragging our payments, saying, giving various reasons. So that actually opened up, and that tough time became it actually gave us an opportunity for us to, because we knew the market, we knew the consumer behavior. We've been working with those companies for last like 15 years or so. So we knew that we had an opportunity for us to get into retail space. So that's why that's how La Vivente came forward as a retail brand. And in 2020, we launched La Vivente during lockdown. We came as an online brand, and then subsequently we moved into retail outlets. So this economic downturn and that challenging time was an opportunity for us to open up our eyes and think beyond and make it a win. That actually opportunity for us.
So, what is La Vivente's greatest strength, and what is the greatest weakness you observe during the
Greatest strength, I would say, within a short period of time, we were able to build up a good brand. And products are very trendy, and then our pricing is very affordable. We also have a cost leadership. We are actually giving at a very our cost is less, so compared to the competition. And then our employment card, it's a long-standing, they have been with us for some time, for longer period. Some people are like with us for last 10 years or so, which is a great strength for us. And our client base, we have a very loyal customer base. So that I would say as a, those are the strengths that we have. If I tell like to consider a weakness, I mean, I would say we are only concentrating on ladies wear. So that is where like we are limited to ladies garments. So that is where we can diversify. That is where we have the opportunity. So we are right now we are evaluating some other business opportunities. So that is the weakness that we have right now. I think we have made a change to a certain extent because in time to time we have created trends. So in that way we have uh, we have actually made a change. And in terms of our designs and all that, we are very trendy. So that is the change that we have brought into the market.
What do you advise you would give to the upcoming entrepreneurs? The advice you would give for the entrepreneur who is trying to come like
I would say what I can do, like my motto is never give up. So becoming an entrepreneur is challenging, whether it's a woman or a man, it's very challenging because our environment is not that friendly to become an entrepreneur right now. But business is always, there is a risk involved in the business. There is no guaranteed return in business. But any developed country, if you see, the businesses has to be emerged. I mean, whether it's an economic downturn, and especially during economic downturn, if you are like really think out of the box, there are many opportunities. Now, if you look at COVID, during COVID lockdown, see how many people quit the job and they started their own ventures, like in a small way, like, because uh, most of the people, they couldn't operate their normal life. So so many businesses, there were many opportunities for like delivery partners, like then people started delivering food, medicine, groceries and all that. Like there were new line of business, like lot of SMEs developed during COVID, during lockdown period. So there are so many opportunities even during a economic downturn. So what I could say is like never give up, have confidence in you, and you have to start. Like you being undergraduates now, it's the best time because now still you all are depending on your parents, and you can really start something, very small. And if you feel like you want to work, still you work somewhere and do your own thing as a side business. So subsequently, when you develop that way, when that comes to a certain level, then you can quit business and proceed with your business, something like that. So we as developing countries, we need a lot of SMEs, SME businesses coming out. So y'all are young, you think out of the way, and y'all new. Now we are getting old, and y'all have new ideas. So come up with some nice business concepts and evaluate it. Maybe you can have a mentor and start something on your own, and don't give up. Your confidence is the the most essential part, and you need to have you need to get the supporting system, confidence, give the confidence to your supporting system. So don't give up. That's what I can tell you.
So, as we know, the clothing industry is a very competitive industry, right? You have brands like Hotel, House of Fashion, Copan, and so on. So, what would you say are the most important factors that you as a business need to have to gain a competitive advantage?
Every business who has a competitive advantage will have a sustainable inflow. So for you to have competitive advantage, you need to look at like what the attributes that leading to competitive advantage is: cost leadership, cost focus, your product quality. You can differentiate your product, maybe the leveraging on the new technology, then distribution channels, new distribution channels. So yeah, those are the things that you can really, those are the factors that will lead to a competitive advantage. When you start a business, or while you're doing a business, you can think of one or two, maybe a couple of, a combination of few, to gain a competitive advantage. That's where you have a sustainable approach during a longer period.
So, what is your most memorable experience as an entrepreneur? I must be sure that you'll be having so many experiences because you started this business really at a very young age. So, what is the most memorable experience you have from La Vivente?
From 𝐵𝐕vente, the most memorable experience was becoming to secure 2 awards during a most challenging time in 2021, the Slim Brand Excellence. But as an entrepreneur, if I say, when I started my business in year 2000, when the first day that I got my purchase order from Cotton Collection was the most memorable day that I would say, because that was my start, and I was delighted to have that the purchase order, the first sale. That was the most memorable day.
So earlier you mentioned how La Vivente was looking into expanding into the menswear, right? Besides that, are there any other future plans you have for La Vivente, like expanding abroad, overseas? What are like the future plans that La Vivente has?
We are already a global brand. We have our brand launched in Australia and New Zealand. Recently, we launched our brand in UAE. That because we need dollar income, that's our main focus to penetrate overseas market as much as we can. And also currently we have 3 stores in Colombo, Negombo, and Galle. So we want to expand our branch network in the country as well, locally. Apart from that, we also want to increase our strategic production units, where we can support a few more people who has a dire need for support, and to who has the inspiration of becoming entrepreneurs. And through that, we can to give more employment opportunities and things like that. So those are the aspirations for our business. Yes.
So how did a degree in business management help you successfully run a business? So apparently everyone says that a degree in IT, or that's what will keep you going in the future, because everything is digitalized, right? So so how do you feel like, how did a business management degree make a difference?
Well, I always believe theory and practice give you better results. So my education actually equipped me to become a successful entrepreneur, think more rationally, analyze the situations, and handle the challenging times. Yes, IT is part and parcel of life, but finance is also not only finance, marketing, international trade, all that matters when it comes to your business. So, when with your education level, you become a more methodical, more systematic leader, and your time management, then how look at a situation would always change with your education background. So the education is like, it's actually complementing your entrepreneur career.
So I'm pretty sure that being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing, right? It's very hard. It can be very stressful. So how would you advise, aspiring entrepreneurs here on how to, manage their work-life balance, how to keep their mental health in check?
Well, you need surely manage your work life, because if you don't manage your work and life, you will be you will not be a balanced person. So while you're engaging yourself, your career, or you become an entrepreneur, you also need to have your leisure time with your family, and being with your parents, your partners. When you're married, your kids, you have to allocate, especially when you're a mother, when especially ladies, it's very challenging, and that's the challenge that I also have, being a mother to a young kid. She needs my entire time, so which is not possible, and my business needs me. So it is very challenging, but you have to somehow prioritize your work, and maybe sometimes you have to give up on certain things, and you need to see what is best for you, and which fit into your schedule and all that, and have a balanced life.
During your course of business, you would work with a lot of employees, a lot with different mindsets. So, what are your tips to build a great team for a business or a startup company?
You as an entrepreneur or a business leader, you need to understand the strengths and weakness of your employees. In my team, I have people who are at the age of 18 until 63. So the age variation is huge. So how you handle 18-year and how you handle a 63 is totally different. When they have more experience, when their age is higher, when they're seniors, you need to respect them. So, and when it comes to juniors, you need to make sure that they're disciplined, so that that's the part that they expect from you as well, because you need to discipline them, you need to guide them properly and mentor them for them to reach their potential, their highest potential. So that you need, for that, to do all that, you need to understand the weaknesses and strengths of your employees. That's the main way that you can handle your staff. And also when they do well, you need to appreciate it. When and you that you have to do it in a forum. But when they do something, when there's something, some area where they need to improve on, you need to do it on a very personal note. because then some people get upset and all that. So that you need to do it in a very personal, in a private way. So that's how you.
So, marketing yourself as a business is a core part of building customers and expanding a new says or a global brand. So, how exactly does your business market itself, and what kind of methods does it use to come out on top?
So, well, when it comes to clothing, you need to do a lot of marketing. I mean, like the way you present your product. So not only clothing, I mean, like any product, how you present the product, the way you brand it, selecting the right channels to communicate, and uh, the right communication. So all that matters when it comes to when you're building a brand. So it depends what is, depending on your product. So at La Vivente, what we have done is we have strategized. We have a strategy plan where we have from the beginning we had a very strong marketing plan, and we came as an online brand. So when it comes to online brand, people are reluctant to buy online because this is you will get not what you have seen in the picture. It's totally different. So to sort of give a comfort to the client, what we did was we did a video for each product we release uh, from the beginning. So the client will get the 360-degree view. So likewise, so then the look and feel factor can be, the client has that comfortability. You can really get away with the look and feel factor. So those are the little things that we have done, actually brought the brand up to this level. So it depends on the product. There is no hard and fast rule as such, but it depends on your product.
How do you plan for the future of your business? Is there any methodical way you plan for the future growth of the business?
Every business should have a growth plan. But like in a country like us, when you're planning, there are many other challenges also. I don't know whether you have learned about forces, five forces. Yeah. So there are many challenges. Now in our country, we have a economic downturn. Right now, we have a negative growth of 8.75, close to 9%. So when you plan, the plan will not, your actual will not as you plan. So you need to have plan B. You need to, closely monitor your plans. Like those days, you can plan something, then you can do. But now it's not like that. Every day you need to revise your plan, maybe change your plan, maybe change your business model. There is no static thing as such. You have to, it's always about changing. So your plan will be changed according to the economic crisis, your maybe, that has a major impact on the demand. So that your plan has to be, you need to have a plan, at least 20% growth plan for every year. And you need to monitor that plan very closely. So that is essential.
So, adding on to the question that Makili asked about planning for the future, how would you evaluate your past ups and downs, your past successes and failures, and to the sound future? How would you evaluate your, past mistakes?
Mistakes will always give you opportunity to learn. So that will be the success. If you have learned from the mistakes and move forward, that is what you can do. So, but in business, what you face today is not what you face tomorrow. So it could be very different to today's scenario. And maybe in next 5 years down the line, it could be more challenging and could be different. So you need to understand how the world is working and how what is happening. So accordingly, you need to change yourself. If you are open to change, then you can survive.
Where do you see Vivente in another 5 years' time?
Actually, our mission is to become the most preferable brand in Sri Lanka and in the world. So I want Vivente to become most preferred brand in Sri Lanka. So that's my aspiration for Vivente.
Starting out a business is not easy. You need a lot of funding, a lot of capital investments, right? How we went cross that barrier? How did they raise funding for their business?
When we launched Vivente, we had adequate capital. But when I started in 2000, only I didn't have a capital. So I actually think out of the box. You know, I was able to get certain stocks on credit basis, and based on that, I was earning. My profits became the capital. That's how I built up. So it was built up gradually because I was working. While I was working, I was developing the business. So that business, what I earned from my job, my banking job, also, was helpful. And what I earned from the business, I retained it. Like, it was, I didn't take it for my personal use because anyway I had a salary which was manageable. So I was building up the business throughout. So by the time we were launching Vivente, I had enough capital. But I know for SME, for a startup, the main constraint is the capital. So maybe you need to. There are many organizations where they give funding like ADB, then World Bank, USAID. Then there are many other NGOs where they help startups. So if you are thinking of having your own startup, maybe if you have a proper business plan with financials and all that, you will be able to get the funding. And yeah, so.
How did you establish your working culture, and how did you select your first set of employees to the business?
The selecting the first employees, when you're a SME, you don't have much options. So you advertise, you interview, and there are only few people who are coming because the employees always wanted to go with big brands, top corporates, established business. So working with SMEs, like most of the people who work with SMEs, like people who are like left out, like the like very I would say like we don't have much options. So what I did was initially, so from that we selected 2 people and we trained the way we want it. That's how we did that. I'm sorry, you asked some other question also. Culture was established because I was from a corporate background. That helped me to establish the work ethics, and the setting up the background was very easy because I was coming from a corporate background.
So, you're very successful, you've inspired a lot of people. So, was there anyone that inspired you? Was there a particular leader who you admired and you incorporated their tactics into your leadership style?
not particularly one person, but I always read about people, about successful individuals, not only the popular ones, but there are many uh, successful people who are in a way with a very low profile. So I always have a mentor. I do right now also. I do have mentors. So I work with them very closely, and I read a lot about people and about the world economy and the situations and all that, that actually help you to manage your business. You need to know about the world in and out, the country, what is happening, the legal system, the trends and all that, for you to manage your business.
Thank you, Dr. Dilesha. So we are open up for the question Q&A session. You have any questions to ask? Y'all can ask now. Yeah.
Hi, ma'am. My name is Dilena. So I have two questions. And you mentioned that you had a client like Odell, right? So, starting off to small startups, how would you, recommend, give advice to have that first client? Because, landing your first client is some of the hardest things you face in a business. So, what would your advice be on landing your first client? Maybe it might be a product business or a service business. What would your advice be on that? Thank you, ma'am. My next question is. So, ma'am, my next question is based on startup funding. Ma'am, my next question is based on startup funding. So, many startups, they actually need a lot of funding, right, starting off. And there are two types of entrepreneurs who bootstrap the startup by their own money. As you mentioned that you put in your own money, right, to reinvest in the business. So, uh, so I'm talking based on startups in general. So, what would your recommendation be when it comes to raising capital? To venture capitalists, or bootstrapping your own business, or to a co-founder? What would your recommendation be?
It depends on what is available and looking at your situation, looking at the margins of your business, and then what the terms and conditions, all that matters when you make that decision. So I can't exactly tell you, okay, this is what we need to do. No, it's not that. You need to analyze that situation and then make the best decision for you. But what I would suggest is that always now, if you have a big idea, you think that this is very feasible, you need to do your research and get a mentor from that area sometimes it's better that you can have a very close strategy. Sometimes like it's like it is like if you move like market, the guaranteed market, and then the schools for that area, things like that. Not only the strategy that we are talking about, there are other things also.
Ma'am, as for my last question, this is a pretty basic one. So you mentioned you read a lot of books, right? Any few which have really changed, impacted, and changed your life? A few basic books.
Yeah,
Remembering the this thing is this thing, but Mahatma Gandhi is one. Mother Teresa is another one, and then there is I read a lot of Kotler's books. Then I read a lot of Harvard Business Review. I mean, like that is those are real scenario that they analyze. So the Harvard Business School reviews are like really good. And then yes, yes. And then what else? Like uh, based on entrepreneurs, uh, Steve Jobs, and then there is this this I don't know, it's controversial, but who I don't know this. The person is in my mind, but the name doesn't come. Mm, he's still there. Mm, I will certainly tell you before I go. So that person, and yeah, so those are the things. But from any autobiography, you can take, something, you know. So read a lot of autobiographies, and then you can read the news is also important, like union and all that, because you get the current, you get your refresh your knowledge and all that. So all that matters when it comes to.
Guys, are there any more questions?
Well, thank you all for joining us for today's webinar session. Thanks to Dr. Dilesha Perera for coming out here and answering our questions. So that calls the end of our session. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much for having me, and I hope my 1 hour, talking to you was helpful. I would like to see at least 3 to 4 entrepreneurs coming up from this batch. I can see about 30 people here. So, you all can do much more than us, and the technology is much more developed now. So y'all can do much more than us.